one of the most important things in guiding children's behavior is to understand the acting out cycle. This diagram that we have here is from the Iris Center for Training Enhancements, and I highly recommend you go to their website to get more information about this cycle. As you can see, we've got peak up at the top. This is where a child is completely out of control and is really losing it. And what this diagram shows, you see our little choo-choo train here, is that it takes a lot of energy for children to get up to peak. It might seem like a child goes from 0 to full on out of control in a second or two, and some children that may be true, but they're still going through this cycle, and it still takes a lot of negative energy for them to get up there. Now, this cycle can be helpful to us because it teaches us when we have to intervene. If you'll notice, a child comes in here on the cycle at calm. Now, the first thing to take into consideration is that not all children come into your classroom at the calm level. Many children might be coming in with significant issues at home, or arguments that have happened on the bus or on the way to school, or not feeling very well. So they might actually be coming in higher, maybe at the agitation phase. So the first thing you want to take into consideration is lowering the level of the whole classroom when they come in. So maybe doing some deep breathing, maybe doing some fun activities. It's one of the reasons to do a joyful, happy morning meeting, is to get everybody back to that calm level. Now, what typically happens is there's some kind of a trigger. And it's helpful if you can recognize what this trigger is, because then you can be prepared and prevent it. But sometimes it's hard to tell what that is. And it could be something as simple as open up your math books, or let's all sit down, or let's move to the carpet. Or it could be something more specific, like a certain child that triggers another kid, some altercations, or again, a child not feeling well, or something like that. Triggers the child, and they move into the agitation phase. The agitation phase includes a variety of different behaviors. It might be tapping your pencil. It might be chatting with somebody. It might be physically fidgeting, not losing focus, looking out the window, walking around the room, rocking your chair back and forth. All of those minor behaviors we need to pay attention to, because they're telling us that this energy cycle is building. So if we intervene right here at the agitation phase, we can redirect the child and bring them back down again to calm. So you need positive energy. Typically it might be just asking them to do something else, go get a drink of water, or even just proximity sometimes can calm them down, or giving them a little extra support. If we don't intervene at agitation, we can get to the acceleration phase. What does acceleration mean? It means getting faster, and it means getting faster quickly. So what happens is, after this agitation phase, a child can very quickly go to peak. Here we see that train making it up that hill really fast. The agitation phase can be a child talking back to you, saying mean things, stamping their feet, throwing their book, so that they're almost losing it. A really savvy teacher can intervene here and turn things around, but you have to really know what you're doing. Your goal is to calm the child down. So if you do something like, "Stephen, stop it. I'm tired of you talking back to me," what you've just done is you have pushed that train right up into peak. And the child will probably lose it, screaming, kicking, running out of the room, hurting somebody. So instead of yelling at a child or trying to control them through anger or force, you want to do the opposite. You want to calm them down. "Daniel, it looks like you need to take a break. Why don't you go get a drink right now?" Or, "Daniel, can you take this note to Miss Smith's class down the hallway and then come back to me?" And of course you have an arrangement with Miss Smith so that you can do that. So you need to have this set of little tools that you can use when children are almost losing it. That is your last chance to intervene and prevent a child from losing it. I observe in many, many classrooms, and I see teachers all the time who take a child who's in the agitation phase and they say something angry to them, and it pushes them right into the peak. And the child ends up being in detention or suspended, going to the principal's office. It disrupts the whole class. It sucks up your time. And it's ineffective for everybody. Nobody's learned anything from that. So again, these are your two chances to intervene. It's best at agitation because that's easier to get the child to calm down here, or in acceleration, get them to do something else, send them to the calm down corner or some other activity that will break that cycle. If you don't see this or can't intervene for some reason and the child reaches peak, the only thing you can really do is prevent the child from harming him or herself or anyone else in the classroom. So the peak is not the time to talk to the child or lecture the child or tell them, I've told you 100 times. It doesn't work. It just makes you more upset, and it can prolong that peak phase. Because again, if you give the child space and try to calm them down, then they will de-escalate and move into the recovery phase faster. It's in the recovery phase that you can then talk to the child about better choices or asking them, what the trigger was or what was going on. But don't even think about talking to them in the peak phase. The hormones that are going off in their body make it so that they can't listen to you anyway. So again, let's recap. This is the acting out cycle. Children hopefully are at the calm level. If they're not, try to get them there. Notice triggers and pay a lot of attention to those small little agitation behaviors, because if you can turn them around, you'll prevent this cycle from going out of control. If a child reaches the acceleration phase, you're going to need to do a little bit more of an intervention where you redirect them to do something else quickly that's a little bit more positive, and then have them come back. In the peak phase, try to protect them, don't talk to them, try to get them to calm down as quickly as they possibly can, and they'll de-escalate and reach the recovery phase. So pay attention to the acting out cycle, and I think you'll see your responses to children's behaviors will improve a great deal.